Hi, my name is Mark Pascal. I'm one of the co-founders at hum.community, and this tutorial video I'm going to cover off a basic introduction to the system. We're going to look at what is Hum, what is it, who is it for, how does it work. We'll do a demo and a bit about where we're going as a project. So it's really aimed at anybody who is considering getting involved, perhaps a community group or a partner, a charity or a funder of any kind. So this will give you a reasonably detailed overview of the system and how it works. So first of all, who is Hum for? So Hum is really for any group of people who have a common purpose or goal. So this could be a youth group who wants to do something about teenage suicide in their suburb, tenants in a social housing complex who want to improve their living conditions, people in a street suburb who want to reduce carbon emissions. There's a common goal. Our focus has been to date on the more marginalised, disadvantaged segments of a society, but it could really be for any group. But essentially, the key thing is this is hyperlocal, and they have a common challenge, a goal, something that they collectively care about and want to solve or improve. We've learned a few things over, so we've been running pilots now in 3 countries, and we've learned quite a lot about what works and what doesn't work so well. So the typical group size that works best is in this sort of range between 15 and 50 people. So it's local, people can build real human relationships, people can meet up. So they can physically get together. And this is quite an important point about the technology. We're not building technology to isolate people more. This is just a system for helping to bring people together, not isolate them with sitting at home on their phones. And it works well when small micro grants can make a significant difference. So, and we'll talk about grant size a bit later, but typically it could be anywhere between $50 or $100 to a few thousand, but not much bigger than that. It works best when the group is fairly stable, mostly the same people, i.e. not a sort of transient group that come and go. And it is important, within the system we define this subgroup called the stewards. So let's say we've got 30 people in the community group. So there might be between 1 and 3 stewards, community stewards. So they're members of the community, but typically are trusted a bit more capable, got a bit more time to do some extra roles within the system, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So that's the first group, the hyperlocal community group. Then we've got the funders. So the funders are really any organisation or individual who wants to financially support localism, local groups who are doing things that the funder cares about. So it could be environment, health, supporting a specific marginalised group, or whatever that is important to that funder. And typically funders want efficiency. So this could be philanthropists, foundations, local central government, local businesses, etc. So they're funding doing good, and it is really important. These funders, they must be able to value community empowerment, and they must feel comfortable giving no strings attached money out to communities, and letting go of that control. So typically funders want efficiency, transparency, and they want some sort of connection with what they're funding. Then we've got this other group, the partners, and this is, I guess, stress another key point, that what we're building, as I said before, is technology that can support relationship building, support community building. And so technology is only ever going to be one part of the solution. So the partners are there to sort of sit between the funder and the community group. So these are the charities, these are the social enterprises, often with decades of experience doing community development. They've got that local knowledge and they can support the community, but they also currently spend a lot of time trying to raise money, so they have relationships with funders. So they sit between the funder and the community. So there are kind of three, we call them stakeholders in this ecosystem of sort of money flow out to community groups. But essentially at the heart of Hum is reimagining that flow to one where community is more empowered and more central to it. And so we move away from this sort of begging system, which the current system essentially is. Communities have to beg for grants from people typically with privilege who are outside of their communities. So we want to change that world. So we'll come back to how the money flows between these stakeholders a bit later. But for now, let's look at how this informal community group of people can decide how to spend their own money. And so, so funding doing good, partner supporting the community, and proof of good to funder, and the community doing good. So the community has their own treasury. Think of it like a shared bank account. And they also have a constitution. So this is a pre-agreement developed by the community, typically support from the partner, who will have experience doing this many times, and so they can support the community to build this constitution. So this says, if we get money, this is what we're going to spend it on. So this defines the theme. So this is kind of the sort of social contract between the funder, the partner, and the community. But the community develop it. It's something they care about. So it could be, mental health, it could be environmental, whatever. And it also defines things like the rules around who can be in the community, because communities do need a boundary that we decide who's in, who's out. And so it makes it quite objective. And what the stewards are doing is to helping. They've got some roles into ensuring that constitution is being followed. They're not controlling things, but they're just ensuring that it's being followed. And then the bit where technology starts to become useful is a mechanism to allow that hyperlocal group to decide how to spend that money in a fully democratic, transparent way. And where we landed after many iterations is essentially a sort of workflow governance tool that spits out micro grants into the community that go to, and each micro grant goes to an individual in the community. And so it's kind of more of a flow system. So money flows into the community treasury and it flows out via micro grants to individuals in the community. And so that's an important point. There's no sort of time gating. There's no decision where you've got to decide by this day. It's a constant flow of money in and money out. Okay, so what we're going to do is to look at this interface, the app, because that's at the heart of the sort of community-facing thing, and then we'll come back to the flow of money and how money gets into that treasury. So what we're going to do is just to look at. Okay, so we one thing I was going to say is how to access the app. So the app is accessed either via going to the app stores, Apple or Google, Android app stores, and downloading the app. So search for Hum Community and you'll find the app. Or it can be accessed via a website, app.hum.community. Generally, the App Store version is a little bit smoother, slightly more user-friendly, so we recommend that. And to authenticate, because we're voting and because we need to avoid people having more than one identity, we authenticate via a simple text system currently. So participants do need a way to receive a text message, a unique text message, so they can log in. So that's the main way we log in. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a bit of a demo now. So I'm logged in as on the web version here as Tom, and Tom is a steward of this community, and we'll come back to actual logging in a second, but I've pre-logged in Tom, and so we can just get an idea of the system. So we can see this kind of down the bottom, we've got this sort of workflow. So things start off as ideas, they go to in review, proposals, and then projects. So we'll start with ideas. Before we do that, we'll just have a look at the menu. And so if I click on the menu, I can see my profile. I can put my picture in. I can change my name if I want to. and this is my phone number. Events. So this is kind of an audit log of everything that's happened, so people can, again, in that philosophy of full transparency, I can see the members of the communities, and because I'm logged in as a steward, I get this thing. So I get to allow people who've requested to join. I can let them in. We'll have a look at that in a minute. This is the constitution that I agreed to and helped work on initially. The pre-agreement in there. We've also got a steward manual. So this is, again, can be adapted for the specific community, but this is really what the stewards are doing. There's for extra roles, and then transactions or fund history. We can see exactly what happened in our treasury. And we can also switch community, and that's quite an important thing, is that a person can be a part of many communities, and it's very easy to jump around communities. Okay, so I'm logged in as Tom, and I can sort of click into an idea like that, and I can see the idea, but because I'm a steward, I've got this at the bottom, I guess, some extra functionality here that other people don't. So what we're going to do is just bring up another user, Sally, just so we can illustrate things. So Sally is also logged into this same community. So this is a fictitious community in London who are involved in regreening. Residents want to make Lewisham cleaner, greener, and more resilient. Environmental projects, blah blah blah. So that's their purpose, and that's been agreed up front. Okay, so I'm logged in. So if I click on both the ideas, so both Sally and Tom are both members of this communities. Sorry, they're both members of this community, but they've also got these extra roles as a steward. So just first thing anybody in the community can do is they can. In fact, before that, I'll just log in as a new member. So this is Mark, and I'm going to. In fact, I'm just going to log out first of all. Okay, so once this is just what's the kind of the new member experience, I'm going to. I'm going to log in for the first time. So I've downloaded the app as a new user, and I go in that. Okay, so Mark is a new member who has downloaded the app from the App Store, and so this is you're just looking at my phone now. So if Mark signs in with his phone number, 2173132, and so this is they just have to do this once on the app to verify that they are me. So I get the text come through on my phone. So I'm just going to enter that text now. Okay, so on the right hand side we're looking at a visual of my phone now, and so I'm a new user, Mark, who's downloaded the app from the App Store. Yet he gets presented with this screen, and so he has to log in for the first time. So we use a simple text authentication system to ensure that there's only one Mark, so he'll get a text on that. So that text is 89 30 36. And so he can now log in, so the verification code, and he's now in. So he's now into this community. No, he isn't. Okay, so on the right here we're seeing my phone, and I'm going to, so this is Mark who wants to join the community. So Mark puts in their phone number, and I've just got a test account here. So I enter my phone number here. Okay, so I have got my phone now on the right hand side. So I am Mark, member. I'm a new person. I want to, I've downloaded the app. I want to join the community, so I enter my phone number, test account. So I go in here, I get sent a text and I put that in here, and that authenticates me and presents me with a list of all the communities that I can potentially join. So he's going to select one of those. I'll just search for Green Step. Okay, so I want to, I've heard about this Green Step Lewisham from a friend. I've been invited to join by the steward. I go to this page, I can read the constitution. Yeah, that's all cool. Yeah, I definitely want to join them. So I request to join. So yeah, so this is basically me saying, yeah, I read the constitution, I agree to it, and then I go next. Now I put in my identity, so Mark School, and I can put a photograph in if I want to. I won't do that now, and I submit a membership request. So now I've requested to join. Okay, so now I'm just waiting. My request is pending in this list. And then what happens is the stewards get a notification, and so either of the stewards, so Sally or Tom, if they go, so Sally goes into her menu on her phone and she goes members and she can see a request for Mark. So and Sally is going to approve Mark. Now these are one of the decisions, so there's about 7 key steward decisions that we have this sort of multi-signature system on, and we can set it to a percentage for each community. So on the admit user decision, we need, for this community, it's been set to 60%. So at least 60% of the stewards need to agree for a new member. It could be 10%, so only one steward is needed. But in this case, we've said at least 60%. So given there's 2 stewards, both Tom and Sally need to agree. So now Tom needs to go into his members and requests and go, okay, I can see Sally's accepted. I need to approve that this person as well. So we do that. So this person is now accepted. So Mark on his app instantly goes in. So we'll just go back to the list for Sally and Tom into the main screen. Okay, so now Mark is in as a member. So he's in the app, and he can click into any of the existing ideas. So he gets a slightly different view from the stewards. It's a simpler view. Okay, so now we're just going to look at how the app works in practice. So we've got the fund total at the top, £2,000, and this can be set to any currency, so it'll work anywhere in the world. And this is a live list of ideas. So we've got ideas, in review, proposals, and projects. That's the kind of the workflow. So Mark has got an idea, let's say a neighborhood tool library. So he thinks that's a cool idea. Neighborhood tool library. Okay, so you can put more details, but it could just be just an idea, and he can upload a photograph if he wants to or take a photograph of the thing. He can even record it. Yeah, so he can just record the idea, and then he submits it. Okay, so and that goes into this list. So everybody sees this new idea pop in. And now there's this continuous sort of upvoting of ideas. So anybody in the community can sort of vote on any idea. And we use this thing called quadratic voting. So, and the way that works is on the top right, everybody's got 100 voting credits. So if Mark quite likes the buy some more spades, that costs him 10 credits. Or he also likes the bird box builders, that costs him another 10 credits. And what happens is the popular ideas start to rise to the top. So if Sally votes and Tom votes as well, you can see the vote total and the most popular ones rise to the top. But the quadratic bit, if I just go back to Mark here, so the quadratic bit means that one vote costs me 10 credits. But if I'm quite passionate about an idea, if I want to give it 2 votes, that costs me 40 credits. So you can see the 60 has gone from 100 to 60. And if I'm really passionate about it, it costs me 90 credits. So one vote, 10 credits. Two votes, 40 credits. 3 votes, 90 credits. So it's a quadratic formula. And the reason we do this is that it essentially becomes more expensive to be passionate about an idea. So Mark, I can really only, now I'm out of voting credit, so I can only really be passionate and give my full 3 votes to one thing at a time. So I can choose to spread out my votes or just be passionate about one thing. So that's called quadratic voting. So everybody is voting on everybody else's ideas and the good ones go to the top. Then what we say to the stewards, part of their role and defined in the steward manual, is that every now and again they will sit down, perhaps a regular weekly or monthly meeting, and they will, often it's with the community, so they're physically all getting together, and they will look at the most popular ideas. So at the moment, let's imagine my new tool library idea is popular, so I'm just going to give that votes myself, and perhaps Sally likes it as well, in fact, and Tom, they like it. So we've got 3 people in our community. We can see now members. We've got 3 people in our community. Normally there would be 20, 30 people in here in this list. So they've all voted, and we've got a total of 8 votes now for this. So that's the most popular idea this week. And again, this is a flow of ideas, so this will change all the time. But at some point, Sally and Tom get together. Okay, look, this is really popular. We want to take this. So Sally, say, clicks on that idea. They can see the idea. They can see how people voted. They can't see who voted. And they, because they're stewards, Sally and Tom get this extra pink bit, so they can now approve the idea. So Sally's going to approve the idea. Now again, this is one of these decisions where we've set it to 60%, I think. So both Tom and Sally need to agree to approve. It could just be one if you want to keep it simplest. So Tom needs to go in here and approve it also. Okay, so it's now approved. So what's happened is it disappears off this list. Everybody gets their voting credit back to vote on something else, and then it moves into the in review list. So I'll just have a look at the in review in my thing. So so it's gone into the in review for everybody's. So this is a list of review ideas that are being reviewed by the stewards and the community. So then at this meeting, they will sit down. So I'm going to go into Sally's one now. So Sally clicks on enable to tool library. Okay, this is popular. We know roughly what it is, but it lacks detail. So we now need to create a draft proposal. So Sally will now sit down with probably the Mark, the proposer, and go, yeah, look, people like this, but we need some more detail so we can actually properly decide whether to do it. So let's get some more detail, time frame, so sort of in action by June. Cost, and the cost, this is defined by the community, the minimum and maximum. So we've decided in the constitution it's going to be between £50 and £1,000. So, and this one, there's a fair bit to it. So let's say it's going to cost £900 to get all the stuff. And we'd normally go into more detail in the description. Proposal owner, well, Mark proposed it. He's keen to do it. Yeah, let's give it to him. Benefits, we'll put some benefits because we now need to sell this to the voters. So we click on that. Benefits and risks. Let's take some risks here. Risks or downsides. Again, these are optional fields, but generally for bigger things, it's good to get that in. And we could put some supporting documents. We could take a picture of a quote, or an example of something we've done before, or whatever. That's to support the thing. Okay, so remember, I'm logged in as Sally here. So this is me as Sally saying I'm confident this proposal is in line with the intent set out in the Constitution. So this is me putting my reputation on the line. I can just check the Constitution. Yep, this is fine. Okay, and this is what funders are signing up for when they're putting money in this treasury. Okay, so I'm going to publish for approval. Okay, so that now has been published, but it's not live yet. So in my view, I can't see it in the live proposals yet, and because we need Tom to approve it. So Tom goes to his thing and he sees, there's a pending, because again this is one of these decisions we've decided that 60% of the stewards need to agree. So Tom needs to agree, so he scrolls down and he's going to go, yeah, I'm also comfortable, this is in line with the Constitution and I'm going to approve it. Okay, so they've both agreed, and that now moves out into the live system. So now on the right hand side, Mark, so the community members, they have a simpler screen, they just see all the live ones. So we so we can see there's now 3 proposals in the list. So we've gone from idea to in review to proposal. Okay, so now, and we recommend that the stewards keep between 3 and 5 proposals live at any one time. This is because we always want people to be able to compare one thing over another, because remember this is a continuous system, and we also don't want to overload people with choice, but we want to keep stuff flowing. So this is an alternative to the sort of time-gated traditional sort of grant application thing. So a couple of things about this screen. So we've now got a second round of voting. So I've got a fresh new set of voting credits at the top right-hand side. We've also got delegated voting, and this is an optional feature because it's a bit too complicated for some people, but for some communities. But yeah, I can actually delegate my votes to somebody else in the community. I can delegate up to 100, and I can set it to expire automatically. So that's just a feature that some people might want to do. And you just click on the orange thing to get that. Okay, so in this thing we've got 3 proposals, and again, second round of quadratic voting. Anybody can vote. So let's go back. So it's proposals. So let's say Tom likes it a bit, and actually no, the composting thing. Yeah. So where are we? Oh yeah, no, the repair hub. So let's say Tom gives it 1 vote, and Sally also she thinks it's pretty good, but she's perhaps going to pull her vote off something else now because she's seen this new idea. So yeah, so reasonable amount of interest for it now, and I'm going to vote for my one as well. That's okay. I'm going to put one vote on, so we can see. This tool library thing is starting to, so the blue bar shows us the real-time number of votes that the community is putting against it. So that's going up and down all the time, as a new proposal might turn up and I might pull my votes off and change my mind. So we've got this new round of quadratic voting here. A couple of things also we've also implemented conviction voting. So the way to understand conviction voting, it's like a time dampening effect. So if I put 3 votes on today, my 3 votes gradually builds up over time. So it doesn't we don't instantly add 3 votes to the total. It grows up over time. And typically this is days, so it follows a logarithmic curve, and it sort of gradually reaches its 3 votes potential. For this demo, we've actually sped it up, and you can see in here. So I'm clicking into it, and you can see this thin blue line just below the red line. Because we've sped it up, that's what my actual vote is. That's what it actually is, and so that will gradually move up towards the 3 votes or the 2 votes. So it's basically time lags the system. And conviction voting does some, the reason we do this is for a few reasons. It overcomes sort of last-minute voter swing challenges. It overcomes voter coercion problems. So we can imagine if I'm in a community meeting and somebody's standing over my shoulder saying, vote for me, I might feel social pressure to do that. I can do that. I can put my vote on, but then I can go home and take it off and it'll have no effect. It also favours people with long-standing conviction. So by definition, it favours, if you hold your vote on for a long time, it has more effect. If I'm changing my mind the whole time, it has less or no effect. But also this combination of conviction and quadratic voting actually does quite an interesting thing. It reduces the problem of tyranny of the majority. So the classic problem with any sort of democratic one person, one vote system is the majority usually wins. And the way I explain that is, if you've got, say, like a group of 30 people in this community, and there's a minority group, say 3 people, who think a little bit differently, perhaps an ethnic minority or whatever, if they put an idea in a proposal, they're more likely to put all their 3 votes on their thing. So let's say this one, they're more likely to do that, and they're more likely to hold it for a long time, because they're passionate about their specific idea that affects their subgroup. So if there's 3 of them, they're going to get to 9 votes, and that is generally more than others who will be less focused. So essentially, we have a mechanism to more easily allow minority groups get their proposals across the line. Okay, so the other thing you'll notice is that the blue bar is the dynamic number of votes, and the black vertical bar, that's the threshold. So that's the number of votes that this proposal needs to pass. And you notice the threshold is different in each one, and that's where the maths in the system, it actually compares the cost of the proposal, and with the amount left in the fund, and adjusts the threshold dynamically. So it basically makes it easier for cheaper proposals to get across the line. You need less consensus and less people in the community, to the point where if the proposal amount was coming close to how much was left in the fund, you'd need almost all the people to agree, or if it's even more, it'll actually put it 1 more than there are votes available, so it will never pass. So the system is dynamically adjusting itself to ensure that things flow. It's relatively easy to get cheap things across the line, and that's really up to the community to sort of decide how they want to do that. Okay, so when let's speed this up. When a proposal passes, when the blue bar hits the black line, it will pass, and it will turn up. It will disappear off this list. Everybody gets their voting credit back to vote on something else, and often the stewards will then put another proposal live, and it turns up as a live proposal. Now, what I'm going to do is just to speed that up and force that through. So let's just have a look from my dashboard. Okay, so I've automatically passed that. Normally that wouldn't happen. So imagine the blue bar hit the black line, so it's disappeared off this list. Everybody's got their voting credit back, and it's now turned up as a live project. And I've received a notification on my phone as Mark Pascal saying, hey, your project has passed. So it's now in this last tab, the projects tab. So I click on waiting. So everybody can see that. So if I'm the steward, I can go in here. I can see, oh yeah, and it's passed now. So I can see everything about it. There's also a facility for the steward to adjust the cost, because by the time the proposal's passed, Mark might say, hey, look, it costs a little bit more now. They put the price up in the shop. So we allow the steward to adjust the cost by up to 15% up. If it's more than that, then probably the reality is they have to sort of start again. That's just reality, because the community might not agree to it if they knew it was more than 15%. So we've allowed 15% that they can adjust in here. So that will and the steward can cancel the project. So if me as Mark, I've decided, listen, I can't do it anymore, I approach the steward, and the steward, in this case Sally, can either adjust the cost or cancel the project, or even change the owner. It might be that now I can't do it, somebody else needs to do it. So the steward can do that. Okay, so we'll assume that none of that happened. I go, yeah, cool, I think the project's, I still want to do that, I want to accept it. So I'm now going to click on accept. And now I get instructions to how I receive the money. So the money, that's done between me and the partner. The partner gives me the cash or the debit card, or transfers the money into my bank account. However, that's done at the part level, and we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so I've now got the money, I'm doing the thing, and when I've done the thing, I now need to submit a report. So again, anybody can see all this stuff, everybody can see what's going on, but once I've done it, 'cause it's my project, I scroll down here and I can submit a report, and only I can do this because it's my project. I submit a report. Actual cost, yes, perhaps it was less. Let's say it was $8.50. For some reason it was a bit cheaper, and that will adjust the fund total to accommodate that change in cost. I can add a receipt. I can either take a picture or choose an image or upload a document from my phone. I can add evidence, just take a video from my phone of that thing and upload that. And I can, in fact, I just probably need to do that. I need to choose an image. So let's just pick a random image. So that's the receipt, and I want to take video. I think it won't use it because it's from my phone. I'm just going to take a fake video now. 1, 2, 3. There's a bit of video of the barbecue. I'm going to use that video, and I submit that report. Okay, so that is now confirmed, and now the final step is, so it's now a completed project. So everybody can see this in the community, but it's pending approval. So now the steward, who is Sally, she gets a notification, and it says, where are we? Completed projects. So neighborhood tool library. Okay, as Sally, I can see the receipt, I can see the video. Yeah, it all checks out. The receipt matches what it does, and I was actually there, so I know it happened. Blah blah blah, and now I approve that. Okay, and put a comment. Great job, Mark, and I submit that, and that is now approved. Okay, so and there we go. So and there's a list of cancelled projects, completed projects, and active projects that are being worked on. So this is the community view here that Mark sees. So there's this constant flow of ideas to in review, to proposals, to projects. Okay, so what we're now going to do is to look at the rest of the workflow. So let's just bring up the slides again. Okay, so we've talked about this part of the system. So this is the app that allows the community to flow microgrants to individuals in the community in this constant flow, no time gating, democratic, transparent system. But the money, yes, but let's talk about the money flow, because for the second part of this project, what we've done is to build out the money flow and the rules between the funder and the partner. So this is how we get the money into the community treasury. So the principle is that the partner controls a community escrow. Again, think of it like a bank account, but it's a little bit different. So money in the community escrow can only ever go into the community treasury. Okay, and the partner has quite an important role, because remember, money is sort of streaming in. So the partner might put 5,000 every week or every month or whatever, and what they're doing is ensuring that the constitution is being followed. So they've got real-time data, they've got their dashboard, which we'll look at, which shows everything that's going on, all the ideas, proposals, and they're also there typically in the meetings, they're seeing what's going on. If they feel that the community is misspending the fund that's already in the treasury, they might decide to hold off the next payment that they decide. It's the next payment in. But money in the escrow account can only ever go to the community treasury. We also give the partner their own escrow, and that's because partners are typically overseeing many communities. So they may be overseeing 3 or 4 or 10 different communities. So money in their partner escrow, they can decide which community should get it. Okay, and then the funder has got 2 choices. They can put money into the partner escrow account, so therefore they're basically saying to the partner, you decide which community in this system it should go to, or the partner might specifically want to put it directly into a community escrow for the specific community, so that way they know it can only ever go to that community. And they do that via their own dashboard here, but again, they're getting real-time information. So the moment the community puts an idea in or completes a report for a proposal, they get that information, so they can see, so they can decide to put a bit in initially. Yep, it's working. They put a bit more in there. Now, the actual money flow. So we use digital tokens in here in the world of blockchain, but currently there's this friction between digital tokens and the real world banking and regulatory system. So we believe that will change, but for the moment, so what we've done is to essentially, the money flowing through our system is a virtual representation of money, of the unit of currency in the country that it's operating. But the actual money, so when the funder actually pays using normal bank transfer technology, internet banking, whatever, the actual money goes to the bank of the partner, and then the partner pays the microgrant out when the proposal passes. So that's the actual flow of money. So, but to sort of show that in a bit more detail, we're just going to have a look at these two dashboards now. That should make that a bit clearer. So I'm just going to pull up this screen here. So we're now looking at the partner dashboard. So the partner is the charity or the social enterprise, who in this case is overseeing, so there's a fictitious London-based partner, and they are overseeing 3 communities: Greenstep, Holloway, and South Bank Neighbours in this case. And so they can jump around between those 3 community groups. They can, and again, there's not much going on. These are just test accounts. I can just jump around. I can see a total of what's going on. And I've got various settings I can change. I can see all the transactions, all that sort of stuff. So that's in my menu up here. But so let's go to Greenstep Lewisham. That was the community we just were looking at just now. I can see the members of that community. So Tom, Sally, and Mark. I can see all the transactions in that community. I've got various reports that we're going to build out, and I've got lots of settings I can change. So because when I create a new community, so there's the about, the image, payment instructions, sign up. We've got various mechanisms to allow custom, if I want to request that the user provides their street address or their ethnicity or something when they sign up, I can do that and make it mandatory, or hide it from people. I can do various things. I can adjust the constitution, so we've got various templates for constitutions that you can base it on, and then you can adjust that. The steward manual, idea, there's various settings on the ideas page, the proposals page, the minimum, maximum proposal, steward decisions. So this is before when I talked about we needed 2 out of 3 stewards. Thresholds, we can set this percentage here, and then various advanced settings, which I probably won't go into in this video. So I, as a partner, can got a lot of control over the settings and the setup, and I can see what's going on from the dashboard. So from the dashboard, I can see this completed project, the neighbourhood tools library that we just passed. I can see the video, I can see the picture, the evidence, all that sort of stuff. And that's the receipt thing, picture of there. So I've got all that information at my fingertips. And down here on the left-hand side, bottom left, this is where I release money from money that's been put in my partner escrow by a funder. I can release that specifically into this, the Greenstep community escrow. So once it goes in here, it can only ever go into their treasury. And more importantly, when I'm comfortable things are going, I can, and this is where I'm sort of representing the funder a little bit, I'm going to put the next tranche of money. So I'm going to release another, say £200 into the community treasury. Things are going well. I'm going to release that. So the community treasury goes up from 1400 to 1600 down the bottom. And we can see that directly in the app. So we go to the app. Where is it? Yeah, so we can now see the fund total has gone up to 1600 in the app. So they've got more money, and the proposal threshold will automatically change, and it will just adapt to that new fund total. Okay, so this is the partner dashboard. This allows me to basically see what's going on, set up. I can create a new community, literally just that. Just give it a name, and most of the defaults will just work. So I can just it takes 2 seconds to set up a new community, and start inviting people to join, and we will slowly build that out. What I can also do, I've got this menu up here. I can share stories. So this is me as a partner, because these stories go to the funders. And so we had an amazing event, blah, blah, blah. I can upload a video, and that goes into the funder feed. And there's a couple of other menus here, which we'll come back to. So this is the partner view. So I'm now going to go to the funder view. So the funder has their own dashboard login. So join hum.community/funder. And I'm logged in as a fictitious funder called Alder. They're a foundation, perhaps somewhere in the UK. So, and as a funder, I can jump around the different partners. So let's look at this this fictitious one, the Together Labs. That was the partner that we were looking at before. I can see the communities that they're looking after. So Green Step Lewisham is that one. Now, but I can only see quite limited information. If we jump back to the partner dashboard in here, so what the partner can do is to give access. So this menu here, I'm going to give access. So in fact, I'm going to take away access from these guys. I've changed my mind. Oops, I'm going to revoke access to those. So I'm going to add funder access. I'm going to add for this one I looked at, so the Alder Foundation, because I trust them. They've either given me money or they're about to give me money. So I'm now giving them access to my data. So I'm going to close that. So I now go back to the funder dashboard. I hit refresh. So this is the Alder Foundation. So now, because the Together Lab, the partner charity, has given me access, I now get access to their transaction history. I get access to so the Green Step Lewisham, all the data. So I can see completed projects. So the one we just did before, I can click on the video. In that, I can see exactly what's going on in real time. I can see the receipts if necessary. So I can follow ideas through to voting, doing. So I've got I can see the constitution for Green Step. Yeah, cool. Now, as a funder, I can go, okay, I want to give some money to this guy, either to the partner escrow. So I want to put some money into the Together Lab partner account, or I want to give it directly to Green Step Lewisham. They're a community I've got some connection with, and I want to increase their treasury. So let's just fund Together Lab first. So I want to give them. So this is where we sort of link in the real world banking system and our token world. So I want to give them £100, and yeah, so I've got their bank account number. So I do that banking transfer, but via normal means. We don't get involved in that real world money transfer, and whatever legal arrangements or contracts or stuff, that's just, we stay out of that. But somehow I get them £100. And once I've done that, I fill out this form which says I'm giving them £100, so I submit that. Okay, so in our system, we have sent that request through. So I now jump back to Green Step Lewisham, or rather the Together Lab partner, and I click on funders. I see this new payment notification come through. Okay, so if I click on that, I can see I've had a payment request or a payment donation from Alder Foundation, and I need to approve that. So when I click on approve, so I only do this once it's actually arrived in my bank account. So that should say pounds. So when that £100 is received in my bank account, I go approve, and that goes in. That's now approved, and that has now increased my escrow account. Likewise, I can go into I'm back to the funder dashboard. I can fund specific community groups. I go Green Step Lewisham. So again, I'm paying the partner. So remember, the money is going from my bank account to the partner bank account. But this time I'm specifically saying this needs to go to Green Step Lewisham. So I put, let's give them £50, and I submit funding, and that goes in. That's gone in now. So I go back to my partner dashboard, and I see there's a new payment gone in. But this time it's for a specific community. It's for Green Step. Okay, so we can see down the bottom left, faded out, Green Step Lewisham has got £770 in their escrow. So I'm now going to approve that. Yes, the money's been received into my bank account, and that will go up by £50 to 820. Okay, so that's essentially the sort of the interaction. As a funder, I can also see live updates. So I'm now on the funder dashboard. I can see live updates on the right-hand side. Partner updates, completed projects. The one we just did, the neighbourhood tool library. I can sort of click into that and see the video of the thing that happened, etc. So yes, that kind of gives you a bit of an overview of how the money flows. So just to finish off, a couple of slides around where we're going with this project, because it starts to get quite exciting when we can imagine a highly scalable system, when we've got hundreds, thousands, millions of these hyperlocal groups doing good. So on the right hand side, these are the groups. They've got their micro treasuries, and they've got their constitutions, and they can choose to share that information, their constitutions or metadata about what they're doing, into this infrastructure. And so kind of think of it like a two-sided marketplace. So there on one side, and on the other side of the marketplace is funders, anybody with financial capital who wants to support hyperlocal groups. And so the funder can search by geography or theme, and instantly with a couple of clicks start streaming money and getting real-time feedback in this hyper-efficient, incorruptible, transparent system. So that's what we're building out, and so it starts to look more like a sort of an economy with a token, a unit of value that can only be used for social good. So it's a kind of this alternative parallel economy. And the bigger it grows, the more funders, the more partners, the more community groups in this economic system, the more attractive it becomes to other people to join. So that's where we're heading. But even that's kind of the first step, because ultimately we want to create true empowerment where local groups aren't dependent on funders. And that's a journey, but if you think about a group of people managing a shared treasury, that is like a cooperative, a little company, a little government almost. So we can start, once you've solved the trust and engagement problem, once people are engaged and they're voting, and we get 100% voter turnout, because it impacts directly their community. So people do vote. We can start to build other localism tools into the software, volunteer coordination tools, or local currencies, or whatever, into anything that is useful for hyperlocal groups, and to roll that out across the whole network. We can also start to amplify the voice. So these communities individually aren't powerful, but 10,000 of them, you can start to amplify their collective voice to external to government, to consume, to product, to the capitalist system. So they start to become more powerful. But ultimately, we want to give these groups ownership of income-generating assets, the solar battery in their community, or the land that the community garden sits on, etc., so that they can own their own income that they can spend collectively. So then it starts to look like in Web3 world a DAO, like a micro DAO, where we can sort of encode the governance rules around how that little cooperative, that little DAO works. So we want to build this network of hyperlocal groups into this very powerful force. So that's kind of the bigger vision. So yeah, thank you.